video. Let's practice this live thing. And click the arrow button at the bottom of the video player and select start a watch party. Invite whoever you want. Your party will be recorded and archived for playback anytime you want. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. At the Advanced Speech Magazine today. With some Advanced Speech Magazine, you will receive automotive tips, wholesome recipes, wonderful advice, and the most important, give you a copy of the Southern Speech presentation. Grade 2, 180701, Shell gas station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. You get a subscription. Call 601-786-978. 786.
Like, I'm on stuff. This
SOS Graphic Design provides agency quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communications with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: respect your business department. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166 and 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com. Well, we're moving on now to the Come check out the new Sisters Braid 2 Hair Braiding and Natural Hair Care Salon, located at 18070 Mount Elliott Street. Our new salon is spacious with adequate parking, Wi-Fi, and all brand new state-of-the-art salon equipment. Come meet your local hair braiders and natural hair care specialists, and check out our many hair care services such as hair treatments, box braids, cornrows, true braids, cabana twists, children's braids, natural twists, lock extensions, kinky twists, goddess locks, updos, full weaves, and more. Please feel free to visit us on the web at www.sistersbraid2.com or call 313-826-0498. Here at Sisters Braid 2, we offer exceptional care for exceptional hair. We look forward to seeing you. Sisters Braid 2 is a proud recipient of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website, www.unityandrebuilding.com. That's www.unityandrebuilding.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild cities, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is the local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
The reality of COVID-19 makes the intervention necessary so we can heal, nurture. As we find love ones together, one. And in today's situation of isolation and social distancing, this feels more important than ever before. Send someone a greeting card of love.
We would like to invite you to help support.
The reality of COVID-19 makes physical distance necessary so we can still nurture social distance and interpersonal connection through greeting cards. We may be shut in, but expressing love, care, and concern is never locked out. As we find ID, our mission has always been to connect lives and bring loved ones together, one greeting card at a time. And in today's situation of isolation and social distancing, this feels more important than ever before. Send someone a greeting card of love. We have a wide selection of music, handmade create greeting cards online at www.designbyj.com. That's www.designbyj.com. We share love, compassion, and expression of solidarity.
WGPR Detroit HD2. You're watching WHPN, Island Park, Detroit. FM 88.1 WHPR, Island Park, WDIE 107.3 FM Charlotte. Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding what you read? And if you read the Holy Scripture, you ever tested that with?
Conference recording started.
If you get your own, then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on the Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit by 88.1 FM WHPR. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning? You can call them live on the air at area code 313-668-4336, 313-868-0342, 342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, all of you who are hungry and thirsty for the Word of God in its true understanding, I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. Ya Allah's Salam Alaikum. Brother Derek, I told you all I wanted you to make another CD for advertisement, because that advertisement leaves a lot to be desired. If it's some equipment that needs to be replaced, you find out what it is, and if we have to do a fundraiser or whatnot, if I have it, I will give you the money to go on and get what's needed. I know the station is on a budget, and that. But I told you we're going to help wherever we can. So whatever is needed to clear up all of these ads and whatnot, we need to get it. Now, before I get into any spiritual subject matter, we are going to bring our sister back on, Sister Agnes Hitchcock, and we want to welcome her back to remind us of what we need to do on November 3rd.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for coming back.
Appreciate the opportunity to remind the people that in the city of Detroit, coming up on the election, November 3rd, there's an issue on the ballot in addition to the presidential election. There's an issue on the ballot that is asking homeowners to back a $250 million bond with their property. When I say back a bond with the property, that means they go out and find an investor, ask the investor for some money, the investor gives them the money, and they agree to pay interest on it. This particular $250 million bond will be paid for over a period of 30 years. in light of the fact that the city has already overcharged Detroiters $600 million in property taxes, many of us feel that it's an insult for them to come back and ask us to ante up with $250 million more dollars. So we're opposing it. They've never had any opposition to a proposal on the ballot. Generally, they put it on the ballot and people don't pay attention to it and they ignore it.
Just a moment. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Hitchcock.
If a proposal is on the ballot and we ignore it, what happens is it only takes a few votes to pass that proposal. So I encourage everybody, the first thing you do when you get an absentee ballot is go down to the bottom or flip it over and vote no on proposal N that we can trust. So that's basically proposal N, and I encourage you, plan to vote. Plan to encourage somebody else to vote. And when you do vote, vote no on proposal N. I've had the occasion for the last couple of weeks to sit in on telephone conferences and Zoom calls. And usually these conferences are set up by block clubs, community associations. And the more frequently I get a chance to sit in on one, the word goes around the city that I'm available to speak to different residents or associations and block clubs about proposal N. So that's encouraging because people don't really know that it's a property tax. They think the city is asking them if they want to clean up blight and it's not going to cost them anything. So every opportunity, if somebody in the listening audience hears of a Zoom call or telephone conference call, you can call me at area code 313-874-2792. They usually give out a telephone number or an ID code or something like that. And if I have those two items, I could sit in a meeting sometimes and not say anything, because usually the people who are on those meetings, they really ask intelligent questions. But from time to time, it's needed for me to come in and clarify that it is a property tax. So that's one of the things we're doing. Another thing that we're doing is we held a meeting back in January for people whose properties have been overtaxed. And at that meeting, we actually had 800 people sign in to the meeting. So we're using that sheet as like a telephone bank because those people already have some skin in the tax game. They've been overcharged on their property. So we're using that telephone list to encourage people to vote no on proposal N. So if you would like to help out, that's something you can do without leaving your home. If you have some spare time and you can make, say, 20 phone calls or 10 phone calls to people and tell them about proposal N and ask them to vote no, that would help out a lot. You can reach me once again, area code 313-874-2792. So we have to plan to vote. If it's absentee, we're gonna, request that absentee ballot. If you don't get the application for the absentee ballot, follow it up. This is important. We have to have as many people in the city of Detroit vote as we could possibly get. So that's one thing, but I have something else I want to tell you about tonight. In the city of Detroit, we have this situation where our police department is using what is known as facial recognition software. This is a software that I'm going to say marries a digital mugshot with a video. Possibly a store could have been robbed, and they had some video in the store taken of the robber. And our police department has this facial recognition software. Today, Detroit City Council okays controversial contract for facial software. The reason that it's controversial is because this software is biased, it's discriminatory, and it's prone to making Black people making a mistake when it picks a Black person out as the suspect. One of the things I have here that I circled that I wanted to bring to your attention is that in the Detroit Police Department, 96, we have a councilman person who voted for it. His name was Tate. He said that 96% of the time, this software misidentifies individuals. But he's on council, he's a former police officer, and he voted for it anyway. That's one of the situations. We had, like our council has 9 people on it.
Just a moment.
The people.
Just a moment. Knowledge that software is very, very faulty.
Yes.
And so why would you bring that into Detroit when they've already told you that it misidentifies people? What's wrong with you people? Talk about what white folks doing to us. Look at what you doing to us. All these Black people in these positions doing stuff that makes no sense. Well, there is a God, and He see what you're doing. Believe me, He see what you're doing, and you're gonna pay for it. Go ahead, Miss Hitchcock.
The question that you ask, I just say that they're disrespectful. They don't value Black people. They act as if they believe that our pain is not equal to their pain. Even the Black people that have come to do votes in favor of something like that, they just are disrespectful. They do not value Black people, and we're just collateral damage for them. They may want to impress somebody, as if I've heard the story about Master, let me beat him. When the master was beating a slave back in slavery time, if it looked to some slaves as if the master wasn't beating them hard enough, he'd say, let me do it, master. So it appears that we have some people on our city council who inflict pain and abuse on Black people just for exercise. Let me say that Council President Brenda Jones voted against it. Pro Temp Mary Sheffield voted against it. And the Rachel Lopez voted against it. The other 6 council members supported it. Those 6 council members were Janae Ayers, she's a Black female. Gabe Lehman, he's a white male. James Tate, he's a Black male. A former police officer. He's the one that pointed out that 96% of the time that this software misidentifies suspects. Also, Detroit City Councilman Roy McAllister said nothing is 100%. And in seeking answers from the police department officials during the session, noted it's primarily to protect seniors and young children who fall victim to crimes. Now, that was the quote from the newspaper, but I'm saying in spite of the fact that the record for this software is 96%, it failed 96% of the time. It fails. So this particular contract was for an improvement in that software, but the improvement has a long way to go. This software was created by someone who is white. They just don't have the sensitivity to do something that, it's my feeling, that would be successful in identifying a black suspect, especially when it's failed 96% of the time in the past.
I have a question. Are you saying that this is software that's upgrading what's already there?
Yes.
Oh, well, so they already using this.
They're already
software.
using it, and there have been several instances where people who were totally innocent were misidentified with this software. So they're already using it, yes.
So they not just not getting this, they getting an upgrade to make it work better. Is that what
that's what the premises is. This is a $200,000 contract. So they say they're upgrading the software from 96% failure rate. Maybe it'll go to 89% failure rate. Who knows? But they have had hearings, and the public opposed it. But they still gave out the initial contract, which was expiring, and they took out another contract, which they say is an upgrade. So that's just a little information that I wanted to pass along to you today about what's taking place in the city of Detroit.
Yes, ma'am.
And possibly people around the country experiencing the same thing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something on this software thing. When people create these computer things, people not gonna like what I'm about to say, especially them who selling this stuff to us. But you know what they do at first? They'll put out the first draft thing that they completed, and to get their money back, they just go on and sell them. Even when they know they don't really work like they should. And then they come back and sell you an upgrade. And that's how that's done. That's how that's been done for eons. See, they every time you and I, by the time we got the fax machine, that thing had been around for I don't know how long. We got the old models, but they was new to us. And so that's the way they do. And that's why without righteousness coupled with intellect, we will always have the kind of world we have right now. A world where people take misadvantage of each other because they love money instead of loving people. So go ahead, Ms. Hitchcock.
My thinking is a lot of times is that the way our government is operating nowadays, that in order to give out a contract, it doesn't matter to them if the software is good software that's going to be effective and be right and just. They just decide that they want somebody to have a contract someplace and just hand out the contract. In Detroit here, some years ago, they started to wrap plastic around the bottom of our light poles. And it didn't make any sense. They just put this plastic on the bottom of a light pole all over the city of Detroit. And it was nothing but to find a way to give somebody a contract out of our tax dollars in the city of Detroit. So those are just some of the things that we go through when we take our eyes off of them.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
biggest problem is we can't trust them.
No, we can't.
We can't trust them with our money. We need to be successful on this proposal in situation, because when we're successful, that'll give people courage and give them hope. And then maybe we can roll this over into getting an administration in the city of Detroit who would be fair and just, who would look out for the interests of the people as opposed to looking out for where they can give a contract out, or how they could pick our pockets, or how they could use us as a ATM machine. So that was one of the things I wanted to bring to you tonight about that facial recognition software.
Well, I'm
In
with you
addition-
on that.
In addition to reminding the people about proposal N, which is a no, on the November 3rd ballot. And I encourage that. And also, I want to tell you that Brother Jimmer, and I certainly appreciate him for that. And I think that you again on Friday.
Yes, ma'am. And I look forward to the same. And a lot of you all that when we first come on, you say, well, here it come, proposal in. No one from it. You wouldn't know it was coming if we hadn't kept advertising it. See, advertising works. Yeah. And that's what we wanted to do. That's what we want. I know commercials come on, and I say, well, here they go with that again. Here they go with that again. And it dawned on me. That's what they put it on now. Coming. So it'll be on your mind. So you come on right back here Friday and tell us again. And
Yes.
Sunday and tell us again.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Now, most people, they don't understand where they are at and what time it is. I want to say to Caucasian people, I want to talk to the world, but especially with this white supremacy thing. When what was them people that they wanted Donald Trump to denounce? What was the what? The Proud Boys. That name. Where you think they got their name from? The Proud Boys. Let me show you here. Everything that they doing is written. A lot of them don't know it, but some of the leaders of them, they might know. But let me show you. In the 7th chapter of the Holy Quran, and I'm gonna start at the 11th verse. And it's now most people they miss this. They read the book and they miss this. And it's section 2. Now this is actually in I'm gonna start at the first verse. I know I told y'all to read up on 77 and 78. We'll get into that in a little while. But I'm the Proud Boys. This is remember in 2 Thessalonians where it says that the day of let no man deceive you by any means. It says that day, the day of Christ, that the day of Christ is at hand. That day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth who? And if someone is opposing you, Then you notice you watch boxing. You know, we have the over in the white corner and in the black corner. We have this one, and over in this corner we got that one. His opponent, huh? His opponent is his opposer. Is that right? Okay. Opponent's doom. Now, remember they had when I was little, especially when that crisis between the USSR and the Cuban crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and they had us ducking and covering in elementary school. And I think I was in around the 6th grade or somewhere around in there. But I was young, and they was talking about nuclear war. We didn't know that duck and cover was just another way of saying bend over and kiss you behind goodbye. And ducking and cover ain't gonna help you with a nuclear bomb go off close to you. You gonna burn up, man. And so, but they weren't gonna tell us that. But we used to call it doomsday. You know all these doomsday predictions, huh? Okay, this is said the opponent's doom. Now look at this. It says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Oh, and I wanna prove to you mathematically. Math don't lie. Math, you can't make math lie. Do you understand? That's why people, when they're talking to you, sometimes, everybody knows math is just the language of truth. Everybody knows that in mathematics, everything has to add up to your answer. Huh? That's why people say, hey, look, man, what you saying ain't adding up. Huh? Well, everybody knows that you can compare truth to math, right? Okay. You hear people all the time say, do the math, man, do the math. Huh? Okay. Now, I want, now this gonna make some of you mad, but I have to talk to people according to the knowledge that I have. So I want my white family to know, to listen. I want you to pay attention. If I say something that is wrong, I want you to unmute your phone and tell me what's wrong with it. It's you part of my family just like everybody else. We all are the same, but one human family on this planet, and we all part of it. Huh? Okay. Now, wait a minute. I got to give you a chance. Anybody that's from another planet, unmute your phone and tell us. And so we can know that we got some non-family members here. You got to give everybody a chance. What about that man that claimed he from some 19th galaxy somewhere? Huh? I think the Hubble telescope done looked over into other galaxies and have computed, the scientists, they can kind of compute how far a galaxy is. But that boy's still around. Is that the one they put in jail? Malachi York. Boy, that boy knew he could lie. From the 19th galaxy, he claimed. Nobody ever had sense enough that was following him to ask him, hey, man, how did you get here? Do you know how far galaxies are apart? We live in the Milky Way galaxy. I think they call it the Milky Way galaxy, don't they? You know, that all of the stars in this particular section of space that we live in, as far as you can see, these stars in our galaxy here, we call it the Milky Way galaxy. And then there's a break between that, and then it's another galaxy. For how far? That's what the scientists tell us. Now, this man claimed he was from 19 galaxies away. And nobody even asked him, well, how did you get here? But anyway, you know, when people lie, you know, sometimes people, you know, the only one you can lie to and get by with it is another liar. Why do I say that? Liars always, this is how they reason. Let me tell you, I done heard them. And said, you know, people that I knew were lying, they would say, well, nobody could make up nothing like that. Nobody would make nothing like that up. Well, that's the way liars think. They think that you, and they also think everybody's stupid. Do you understand? And that other people are all stupid, and stupid people tell the truth. So it's easier to fool a liar than it is, because that's why anybody wants something from Donald Trump. All they have to do is lie to him, tell him how great he is and how much they care about him, how smart he is and all that kind of stuff. And he gobbled that up. He eat that up. Because he think everybody's stupid but him. Do you understand? And so they use that on him. And to the detriment of the United States and its people. But anyway, reason he hate the people in the United States is because they tells him the truth. That he ain't all that, as sisters used to say about some of us brothers. You ain't all that in the bag of chips. You know, telling you, look, you ain't as great as you think you is, and you ain't as, and don't nobody want to hear that. That's done convinced themselves that they well, you know, like me, you know, I'm God's gift to man. So. But I really am God's gift to you. So, but I don't consider myself above being criticized. I'm a human being. Naturally, other human beings may find something to criticize me for, but as long as I stay on the path, like that movie, follow the yellow brick road, stay on the golden road, stay on the wisdom of God, you won't be able to find no fault in me, because it's not my thoughts that I'm acting on. It is Allah's thoughts that I'm acting on. And in order to find fault in me, you have to find fault in the word that I'm obeying. But anyway, as you look at a liar is the easiest person to tell a lie to. You know, I show you. Even though they don't realize it, they do unto others as they don't want done unto them. But in their mind, you know, I mean, you tell them the more way out it sounds, the more they say, yeah. Is that right? Look at all them people that was following Malachi York, talking about he from some 19 galaxy somewhere. Huh? Royal talking about some people some scientists in a ship came and took him all over the universe. Did you hear that? And he's back here to tell us about it. I mean, the man been all over the universe. That's what he said. And they sitting there just gobbling that stuff up. Nobody asked him, well, what you doing back here, man? He said, at what speed was y'all traveling? And when did you have time to stop and visit anything? And get back here in 1,000,000 lifetimes, let alone in your lifetime. Huh? Look here. We don't know if anything travels faster than light. Any of y'all know something travel faster than light? People said thought. Thought? Are you aware that thought is those electrical impulses that go through your brain? That's light. That's why we say the truth is the light. If the truth travels faster than light, well, then you can't claim that the truth is the light. You have to give the truth another name. Huh? Now, if light travels at 186,000 miles per second, I'm assuming that's in a vacuum. Huh? Because if it's going through water or going through atmosphere, it got to go a little slower. Because it's, those photons is breaking through atmosphere here. Now, I might be wrong. Some of y'all that's done studied these physicists out there, they can come in here and clue me in. If you lie to me, I'm going to know it, because I can listen and I can ask questions about how you can prove what you say. If I have to prove the things I say, then you got to prove the things you say. Charity proves all things. Huh? You trying to give me something, that's charity. You found me ignorant and you got knowledge and you offering me knowledge, you giving me charity. Well, you got to prove to me that what you're saying to me is true by making yourself available for questions. See how the word of God connects to your life when you don't even know it connects to your life? I ain't forgot about the Proud Boys. I'm going to get back to the Proud Boys. But this opponent's doom here. That's significant. For the man of sin is the opponent. The opponent, if you build up a world, and, most people don't understand capitalism. You don't understand where you at. Capitalism is the law of the jungle. The strong prey upon the weak. Did you hear what I said? Hey, you suffering over there. You look like you're having a hard time. Let me help you. I got a book here that if you buy this book, this will really help your problem. You remember the people used to be peddling snake oil and stuff? Snake oil ain't never stopped being peddled. They call it all kind of stuff. Remember noni juice and all that stuff that everybody was buying for a while? Huh? I mean, this will cure everything. This will cure crazy. Do you understand? And so this is. People find a need that you have and capitalize off of it. They say it in another way. Just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. I may be misunderstanding something, but what does supply and demand actually mean? Demand is what makes prices go up. No. Diamonds. Let me show you. Diamonds are not rare, but cut and polished diamonds are rare because there's only a few people cutting them and polishing them, and they keeping them to themselves in a out of circulation, and they create a demand for everybody getting married and lots of diamonds. And if you think diamonds are rare, so rare, then why you find diamonds in, you ever seen a concrete saw? You get the blade on a concrete saw, it's got diamonds in it. Yes. Now, this ain't no talk show. If you got some information you want to share that I done messed up here, because I'm only going by what I have observed and been told. Now, what is it that you got your phone unmuted?
There is something that travels at the speed of light.
I didn't ask, just a moment. I didn't say that nothing travels at the speed of light, for light travels at the speed of light, and thought does too. But I don't know of anything that travels faster than light. That's what I said. See, now I'm going to tell you, bro, you got to listen when I'm talking. You got to listen. You remember, you watched The Godfather. You remember what he told his son, Michael? He said, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Now, I don't know if you consider me an enemy, but, many white people do. And slavery is proof of that. But you should listen very close to people that you don't like. Even more close than listening to people that you like. Because if you dislike a person, then what happens if you're asked why? It's foolish to say I dislike them because they're not my color. And
Trump to Biden as is Geno Jennings to you.
Beg your pardon? What did you say? Don't be shy. You said something about Joe Biden is as Geno Jennings is to me. That's what it sounded like you said. But anyway, so you didn't really have nothing to say. You just unmuted your phone to say something. Don't do that. Pay attention so you can learn something. And don't give me the idea that you're just trying to waste my time, because then, you put me in a position where I have to punish you. And don't do that. I'm not being purposely disrespectful to you. So don't do that to me. I'm not Jesus. I'm not none of the prophets that y'all did that to. I am their Lord. You were told, don't tempt the Lord. So now this section, beg your pardon? Yeah, the diamond blades. Yeah, they're in concrete saws. And they're very good. They cut through that concrete. And even though they wear, like you can go and rent a concrete saw, and you rent it for so much. And when you take it back, they will mic it and see how much you wore the blade down, and they'll charge you accordingly. But it's you can, if you can't afford to buy one, you can rent one. I have a small what you call ceramic saw that matter of fact, we got a couple of them, and they cut brick and they cut ceramic tile, and they got diamond blades on. And I think the diamond blade costs about $25. $25 for a diamond blade. Huh? So diamonds are not really rare. Diamonds are nothing but rocks, hard rocks. And they're very plentiful if you know where to find them. And so but they make them rare. They create a demand for them, like marriage, engagement. You go to Zales, or you go to, what's that other one that he went to Jared? Huh? See, advertising works, you know. And K diamonds. Every kiss begins with K. Huh? Yeah. And so the diamonds, because they are demand, there's a great demand for those shiny rocks. And the more the demand, the price goes up. Huh? They are valuable, not because they are really valuable, but because people who demand them value them. Do you understand? Okay. So we live in a world, in this actually the way the world different communities of human beings interact with each other based on capitalism. You notice everybody got money with images and superscription on them. Like when Jesus asked them, when they asked him, is it lawful that we pay taxes? He said to them, bring me a penny. And he said, whose image and superscription is on here? And they said, Caesar's. He said, well then, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. Okay, so you got everybody, all civilizations now are mimicking Caesar. Huh? And everybody got currency. Everybody got money with their pictures on. And so this is the capitalist world. Everybody into capitalism. The scripture called it the beast. Why? Because that's what beasts do. They capitalize off of weak creatures to eat. You don't see beasts just going around just attacking things, attacking creatures just to be attacking them. They get hungry, then they find something weak and they prey off of it. Huh? People go in business, see your needs, and they capitalize off of supplying your needs. And in order to do that, they can't teach everybody how to. You can't go to the public school system if you start putting the knowledge of how to make refrigerant, how to make refrigerators and freezers and all that. If you put that in school, then you're gonna knock the capitalism out the box. So somebody got to be ignorant and not know how this stuff works, so that somebody else can produce jobs for themselves to supply these things for the demand that it is. I mean, you don't go to someone's house and you don't find a refrigerator with a freezer in it. And if they don't have both, they do have a refrigerator and that's got a little freezer in it. But most people have a refrigerator and freezer in the house. That's a big demand for 330 million people. So that creates a big demand, creates a need, then the supply. And as the need goes through the roof, then the people that sell them can kind of say, well, look, they're moving like hotcakes. Well, we don't have to charge so much for them. Then more people can buy them. Then they say, well, a fast nickel beat a slow down. And so they lower the price a little. And shoot, we think it's a good deal if we can pay $500, $600 for a chest freezer. Yeah, that's a bargain. But that's $500 or $600. But anyway, so this is the kind of world we live in, a world of capitalism, a world where human beings, instead of uh, the 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 medium of exchange being the brotherhood and love of human beings, the love of your neighbor as yourself, and using your skills, whatever you have been blessed with, to provide. As Jesus said, let him among you who is greatest, let him be the servant of all of the others. If you are greater in your knowledge and understanding, then you can serve humanity with things that they couldn't do for themselves. The inventions that you have and everything, the things that you invent that make life easier and better for human beings, you can do that. And we can all work together and all of us live good. But you can't put no world up like that because it's beyond your scope. It is beyond your ability to reason and realize that that's the way of the universe. You know, ain't you glad that the sun was out there when you got here, and you ain't got to pay nothing? All you got to do is just, the sun is there and it's lasting. It ain't burning out on us, and we utilize it, and it don't cost us nothing but just be thankful. Huh? The earth, same thing. You put something in it, the earth don't say, okay, let's pay up. Yeah, no. You just plant something in it, it give you something back. But not us. We think we supposed to take misadvantage of each other. But anyway, that's the world that's getting ready to go out now. The opponent's doom. And so it says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I, Allah, am the best knower of the truth. Huh? Yeah. To know is to understand. To say I'm the best knower, that's another way of saying I understand best how to use what is known by everybody. Huh? Yes. It says, a book revealed to thee. Son of man, take the book and eat it up. He talking to me. This book is revealed to me. The covenant of Allah have been revealed to me. He said, a book revealed to thee. So let there be no straightness in thy breast concerning it. That's just another way of saying study. Don't let there be any lacking of knowledge of it. Study it over and over and over until you're able to just recite as easy as breathing. And it says, that thou mayest warn thereby. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, unto the mind that Jacob put in human beings and gave it dominion for 6,000 years. I have made you a warning to them, a warner to them. So hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Huh? That thou mayest warn thereby, by means of what's written in this book. And a reminder to the believers. Follow what has been revealed to you from your Lord, and follow not besides him any guardians. Little do you mind. Yeah. It's just like with you all. I'm warning you to follow what is revealed to you through me. And don't take besides me no leaders. Do you understand? Okay. Little it is that you mind, though, because, you'd be surprised some of the stuff that in private people be saying and doing. But anyway, it says, and how many a town have we destroyed? So our punishment came to it by night, or while they slept at midday, while they was napping. Huh? Yet their cry, when our punishment came to them, was nothing but that they said, surely we were wrongdoers. And why you think whenever a calamity hit people and it tear up a whole bunch of stuff, they say, thank God that it wasn't no worse. How come they don't ever blame God? They know who let it happen. Huh? You know why they don't blame God? Because every one of them know what they was doing when everything was peaceful and good for them. They know they was doing things they ain't had no business. Huh? Oh, yeah. Then certainly we shall question those to whom messengers were sent, and we shall question the messengers. You know, it's just like people coming in here talking about Jesus was God. Jesus was God. And you ask, Jesus, did you tell them people you was God? Jesus said, I said not but what you commanded me to say. That's right there in the book. Jesus said, I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say, and in what manner to say it, and what I should speak. Huh? So when they could, Jesus was God. No, Jesus ain't never told you that. Jesus ain't never told you to pray to him. Jesus said, when you pray, pray in this manner. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. He didn't say pray our Jesus. Did he? Okay. Then surely we shall relate to them with knowledge what I just did. Huh? And we are never absent. I told you one of Allah's attributes is that he is omnipresent. Omnipresent means present everywhere at the same time. That's because Allah is the truth. Omnipresent. And why do we say we? Because the truth is with matter. And everywhere you go where there is matter, especially formed matter, then truth formed it, and truth is with it. Huh? How you think they turn around and reverse engineer things? You don't have to tell them how you made it. They take it apart, and the thing that was made reveals how it was made. Do you understand? Yeah. And it says, and the judging on that day will be just. Well, that lets you know we ain't talking about your Supreme Court. And look at you unjust people electing and appointing unjust judges, and then you call them the Supreme Court. You can give them an unjust title. For there's nothing supreme about a court that's based on personal opinions and personal feelings and whatnot. When a judge sits in judgment of people, that judge is supposed to be straight up, not leaning one way or the other, but dealing strictly with facts. It's just like the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, there shouldn't be any problem putting judges on the Supreme Court if they are going to live up to the Constitution. The Constitution is the judge. The justice is the judge is just the instrument through which the Constitution is supposed to speak. But they purposely misrepresent the Constitution. They give it a meaning that does not go along with what the Constitution, if you look at the preamble, you will notice that many things that they disallow, it's just like trying to strike down this Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act is actually in accord with the purpose of the Constitution being drawn up, because it says that says we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and ensure domestic tranquility, promote the general welfare. Well, what is health care? When you wish a person, what did Spock used to say on the Star Trek? Live long and prosper. Huh? What is the Affordable Health Care Act actually saying to American citizens? Live long and prosper. Huh? Yes, that's what the Constitution was drawn up for. You're talking about taking it away. I mean, health care is a right. The right to life. If there's a right to life, then there's a right to health care. Not whether you can afford it or not. It's supposed to be there. That right is supposed to be there. You have a right to the same health care that's provided for the members of Congress, for the President of the United States, for every official that's in government. They are the yardstick to judge what type of health care the people that they supposedly represent is supposed to be able to get. It's just like what Donald Trump did last night in that so-called debate. He didn't come in there to debate. He came in there to do just what he did. But most people, they don't forget. There's an old saying: if a wise man and a fool, if a wise man argues with a fool, then the listeners won't be able to tell which is which. Huh? So the fool created some foolishness. And every time Mr. Biden tried to get a word in, Donald Trump would just interject his foolishness. And so anyone who was listening, well, I can't tell heads nor tails of what now what I'm saying. But they don't forget who instituted all of the foolishness. It certainly wasn't Mr. Biden. You notice when people come in here and try to overtalk me, I stop them. The moderator was supposed to stop them. I mean, he's not, look, when he stepped on that stage, he wasn't stepping on there as no president. He was stepping on there as a candidate for re-election to the presidency. And that foolish man that was sitting there, Chris Wallace, sitting there worrying about losing his job, I guess. But, you know, he should have took charge. He should have said, no. When you stepped out here on this stage here, you stepped out of your office of president and you became a candidate. And you will conduct yourself as a candidate or you will not be allowed to speak. You see? But he was pulling the old, well, make noise therein. Perhaps we'll overcome everybody and make them all just don't even want to listen to neither one of us. And then I win. Huh? He sure can't run on his record. He sure can't say you better off now than you was 4 years ago. So all he can do is what he tried to do. Make an ass of himself. He succeeded. But anyway, now let's get back to this. It says, in judging, and the judging on that day will be just. So as for those whose good deeds are heavy, they are the successful ones. They are the successful. And as for those whose good deeds are light, those are they who ruined their souls because they disbelieved in the word of God, in our messages. Huh? It says, and certainly we established you in the earth and made therein a means of livelihood for you. Little it is that you give thanks. Let me show you something. Now let's face it. You got white people that claim they're superior, like the Proud Boys, and those who are the American Nazi Party and the KKK. Now they claim to be superior to other people, right? But they can't have a civilized conversation with other people. You know what their idea of superiority is? The idea of a bully who figure he could whoop everybody. He's like, I'm best. I'm better than everybody else. And if you don't like it, I'll beat you down. Do you understand? He think that's superior. Well, in that case, well, a lion is superior to a dog. In that case. But which one of them is actually the smartest? Huh? We know which one of them is strongest, but which one of them is actually the smartest? The dog may be inferior, but the dog, like them hyenas, ain't he a type of dog? Huh? If 20 or so hyenas is together, they'll jump on a lion. Huh? But if another lion come up there, they say, oh, we better get out of here. Huh? Because they figure, they smart enough to know when they ain't got no wind. Ain't that right? You notice, when lions get hungry, he don't go looking for no hyena. Hyena got something to stay out of his way. Is that right? So I just want to bring this to your attention. If you really were superior, you would have been first. Now, I want to, we going I tell you who the superior man is. It's the man that wasn't no man before him. The man that created his own farm and didn't have no father, didn't have no mother. And even when he created a farm for himself, that was not his beginning. That was just the beginning of him existing within that farm. That's the man that I am from. Now, let's get to this 11th verse here. It says, and we indeed created you, then we fashioned you. Well, let's see. If you are not familiar with the Holy Quran, you wouldn't know what that was talking about. But if you're familiar with the Holy Quran, then you know that over in the 15th chapter, in the 28th verse, it says, and when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to create a mortal. Well, when you create something, the thing does not yet exist. If it's got to be created, it don't yet exist. The only created man on earth is the black man. Everyone else was made from him. That's where you get the term mankind. Mankind means a kind of a man. What? From the original man. Just like the brown man, you say, for instance, the Japanese. He is a kind of man that comes out of the black man. The Chinese, a yellow man, he's a kind of man that comes out of the black man through grafting, the brown, then the yellow. And the white man is a kind of a man that all of these kinds of men came from the original man, the black man. Do you understand? Is there any anthropologists or people out there that want to argue that? No, I'm not saying this to belittle you. I'm saying this to put an end to you walking around here with your arrogance, suggesting that somehow I and my people are inferior to any of you. You couldn't have taken the stuff y'all watched done to us and the stuff you did to us. You couldn't have survived it if it had been done to you. So don't be walking around here wagging your head and shaking your head at us after you know how we was treated over here. You used to try to suggest that we was playing some kind of race card. And now you done seen the stuff we've been suffering over here. When you saw that black man murdered right there on TV, George Floyd. It went all over the internet, all over the world. That's what's been going on over here to us. That's why I told you I better not hear you coming out your mouth again talking about some race card when we talk about what you done to us. It says, and we indeed created you. Didn't Allah say, I'm going to create a mortal? Huh? Well, and he said, we indeed created you. Then we fashioned you into shape. Huh? What is that? I'm going to create a mortal of sounding clay, of black mud, what? Fashioned into shape. We're going to make you be a slave. Huh? Well, that's what slavery did. It fashioned me into the shape, fashioned us, black people. Why do you think we got to be convinced to want a country? We wasn't fashioned into the shape to be independent. We was fashioned in the shape to be servants. That's why we wanted a good job. We want a good job and a good retirement plan. We want good what you call perks. Want a good home. We want a good car. We want like a nice bank account. And we just want people to treat us right. We didn't want no country because we was fashioned into the shape of a slave. All through school, all I heard, go to school so you can come out and get a good job. Go to school so you can come out and get a good job. Boy, you ain't getting no good job if you don't get no high school diploma. You go to school and come out so you can get you a good job. Ain't nobody taught us to want a country, to want independence. We were fashioned into the shape of a servant. And so Allah said he was going to create a mortal from those people who was like mud. You know what mud is? It's dust or dirt with water poured on it. And that's what you got in America. We got all these educated black people that all the education that we got. Yet, it's just like walking around in mud. It ain't enable us to produce anything for ourselves. Because in order to become a productive people, you have to be able to unite and work together. But Allah had a plan. The white man thought it was his idea. But it wasn't. It was God working through him, as his maker told him, go and subdue the earth and have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So they fulfilled their written destiny. They call it a manifest destiny. Well, that was their written destiny, that they should have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And for 6,000 years, that's the length of time that the mind that they had was to last and to exercise power and dominion. Now, it says, and we indeed created you, then we fashioned you, then we said to the angels, make submission to Adam. Remember, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam will be a quickening spirit. And we said to the angels, make submission to Adam. So when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels were, because they were ordered to be with me. That's why you can't go into the scriptures and call on none of the angels, the messenger's words, to fight me with. They were told to bow down to me, to worship me, to tell you about me. Then it says, make submission to Adam. So they submitted, except Iblis. He was not of those who submitted. And it says, he said, I'm saying to them now, what hindered thee that thou didst not submit when I commanded you? He said, I'm better than he. What we've been hearing from the Proud Boys all our life. What did Hitler think when he went to the Olympics and got up and walked out? Wasn't he thinking he was better than us? The superior, the Aryan race, or whatever he called himself. The mere fact he called himself a race should have told him he's not superior. But anyway, it says, thou hast created me a fire. It says, while him thou didst create of dust. He said, then get forth from this state. You know, and you don't humble yourself before the Lord, then the Lord hates a proud look. Said, then get forth from this state. For it is not for thee to behave how? Proudly therein. Now you see where the Proud Boys come from? You see where they got that name? Yeah. Iblis, the devil. He's a proud boy. And it says, go forth, therefore. Surely thou art of the abject ones. You know what abject means? You go from a high state to a low state. I remember presidents were like giants in this country. I mean, you go back and look at Roosevelt, for instance. President Roosevelt was in a wheelchair and he stood head and shoulders over what you got up there now. People used to ask their children, what you want to be when you grow, who you want to be like? He said, I want to be like the president. Huh? When last time you heard somebody in their right mind talking about their child want to be like the president since this man took office? Huh? You know what abject means? It means to go from a high state to a low state. You went from a president that commanded the respect. As a matter of fact, people were envious of the United States all over the earth, especially when they saw a country that they knew had practiced slavery and racism elect one of those who at one time was a slave or the descendant of someone who, even though his father wasn't no product of slavery, but that man was part of a people who had been enslaved. And they elected him for president, and he brought honor to this country. And dignity to that office. And then you went from being the envy of the world to the laughing stock. If that ain't abject, I don't know what is. Says, go forth, therefore, surely thou art of the abject ones. And so over in the 15th chapter, it says, so in the 29th verse, it says, so when I have made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down, making obeisance to him. So the angels made obeisance, all of them together. But Iblis did it not. He refused to be of those who made obeisance. And so Iblis was proud. You see? And that is you who claim to be superior to me. Black people. You use white folks and all the rest of you who think that you're superior to black people. Mathematics proves you a lie. There is an axiom in mathematics that says the whole is equal to the sum of its parts. All y'all are part of me. I'm not a part of you. I'm the root of you. Whatever is in you is part of me. But everything that's in me ain't part of you. You don't have the same thing. You look at me. You look at my eyebrows, they're straight as the hair on your head. But you can't produce no kinky hair. No hair that look like lamb's wool. Everything that's in everybody is in the black man. And even if we got rid of you, we ain't got rid of you because you still in us and we could bring all of you back. But if we was gone, you could not bring us back, nor could you stay here. Now, The whole is equal to the sum of its parts. I didn't hear you. If that is true, then we are the whole man and you are the parts that came from the whole. So you can just climb on down off that high horse you on and get on a mule next to me. Walking around here with your arrogant self. So now you know the truth. And, let me see here. I'm gonna let it come to you with even more exactness. This is the 38th chapter of the Holy Quran. Go to it, chapter 38, and learn where your name came from. And all of the rest of you that's walking around here turning your nose up at black people, you better cut that foolishness out. And you hate me because I'm black? Well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. Can you say if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here? You know how long you've been here because we told you how long you've been here. But the scriptures simply calls me the Ancient of Days. In the 38th chapter of the Holy Quran, it says, when thy Lord, this is the 71st verse, it says, when thy Lord said to the angels, surely I am going to create a mortal from dust. So when I have made him complete, that's what, you notice if you let this building just stand and stand and stand, it's like it's breaking down now. This building that I'm standing there. That's why we putting up another one. But if you let it stand here long enough, the building and everything in it will soon become dust. Huh? Is that right? What are we? We are what's left of the black people, the African black people that was stolen and lied to. Some was lied to and tricked into coming over here, and the rest was stolen and brought over here, which all of it was stealing us, kidnapping. Then they breeded us like they do animals. Took one black man and made him just produce with his own children, with his own daughters and all that kind of thing. Multiplied us that way so they could sell us like they do cattle and stuff like that. Then they raised the children without the knowledge of father and mother and history. And so we are what's left of the first slaves that was brought to this country. We are the dust of them. You see? So Allah said, I'm going to create, in order to bring out a new man, a new black man. We had to break ourselves down to dust, to a dust-like state, knowing nothing. When you talk about black history in the United States, the only black history we know about is 400 years of the last 400 years. And don't know too much about that. So we are like dust. And Allah said, I'm going to create. I'm going to raise up one of them from dust, a mortal from dust. So when I have made him complete, you notice, Jesus even said, the natural mind is the mammon of unrighteousness. You learn a whole lot of things in the schools of this world, but righteousness ain't one of them things. Do you understand? You can go to the Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Grambling, Alcorn State, Southern, or LSU, or NYU, or USM. You can go to any of these universities that you have, but you can't learn righteousness in there. So even when you come out complete, when you complete your education from this world, you come out complete and incomplete. Do you understand? So I had to go through your basic training, basic education. And I completed what was necessary. When I was growing up, there wasn't no college education necessary, only a high school diploma. And people went to college, but it wasn't necessary to get a college education to come out and get a good job. That was, when I say a good job, I'm talking about you could go to work for GM, you could go to work for Chrysler, I went to work for Norris Industries out of high school. Norris Industries is a defense supply, a defense plant. And with a high school diploma. So, that I had completed what they required at that time. But as Jesus said, make to yourselves friends of the knowledge of unrighteousness, of all of this natural knowledge, so that when you fail to gain peace of mind and contentment by obeying it and doing that, because I had most savings bonds on my matter of fact, I wallpapered my wall with $25 savings bonds out of my check. I'd always have some savings bonds, but back then $25 was money, and I wallpapered my wall with my savings bonds, and had plenty of money in my pocket left. Wasn't nobody but me. I was single, and I was living with one of my friends. He was the boyfriend of the sister I was liking, and he and I lived together, and I rented a room from him, and After a while, I just got bored, you know. The money and stuff was good, but it just didn't do it for me. I was always trying to figure out, just like that song says, this all it is. I mean, good gracious, this ain't about nothing. And so I went in the Marine Corps. That didn't do it for me. So I was ready, as Jesus said, so that when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. So when I couldn't find no peace and contentment in this world, with all of the stuff that people was claiming was so great, it didn't do it for me. Then I heard the teachings of Islam, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that was what was missing. Righteousness was missing. And for the first time, I saw righteousness in action. And I said, now that's what I want. I'm going to be a Muslim. I didn't know I was already a Muslim. I was just dead. Let me say this to you. It ain't a human being on this planet that was not born Muslim. Yeah, white people too. We all was born Muslim. What's proof of that? Don't your body, when it's functioning properly, don't it do whatever your mind tell it to do? You go walking. If you feel like going walking, even if your body don't feel like it, if the body in so many ways say, I'm tired. If you decide you're going to go walk, what the body do? It go for a walk, don't it? Until you say, I'm going to rest now. See? Entire submission to the will of the mind. God is a mind. God is a spirit. There you go. What mind is he? The best mind, the best knower. That's what minds do. Minds know things. That's all a mind is. It's the sum total of the knowledge that you have accumulated. We call it your mind. Huh? You see? And even that, mind means to take charge. You see? You know, mind the station until I get back. Huh? Mind this and mind that that's just another way of saying man this and man that. Man and mind are the same word. They have the same meaning. So it's time that you learn the truth. So we were born Muslims. All of us were. You know, and so now it's time for you to return to Allah. And if you will not, then you fail. You loved something more than you loved the Lord your God. And that was something Moses commanded you. Thou shalt have none other gods before me. Okay. So in the 38th chapter, it says, so when I have made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down, humble yourself, submitting to him. And the angels submitted, all of them. That's the only reason Allah gave them what he gave them. He gave them the covenant and took an oath from them, took a covenant from them saying, what I have given you of book and wisdom, then a messenger will come, verifying that which is with you, you shall believe in him and you shall aid him. And he asked them, do you affirm and accept my compact in this matter? They said, we do affirm. He said, then you bear witness to the Son of Man when he comes. Huh? Okay. So the angels submitted, all of them, but not Iblis. He was proud, the proud boys. Huh? Let a white man come in here and tell me why you won't submit. Tell me what's your problem? The only problem you got, you proud, man. Who gave you the knowledge that you have? Who brought you out of the cave? Where did you come from? See, no argument. No what? No insults. Because I told him I'm not going to take your insults no more. That's why I spent so much time teaching you. Proving to you who I am. Now, you don't have no excuse. When you come in here disrespecting me, it's not out of ignorance. Yes. So now you be punished. Now, if you won't let me save you, then that's on you. That ain't on me. I ain't got no special hatred for you now that I know what happened and why. I mean, I already told you, it wasn't your fault. But to come in here disrespecting me and to be walking around here still murdering black people, that is your fault. You just saw what happened to Pascal. That's headed for you. I told you, when you ain't got no mind, I bet you won't be out here threatening nobody. I'll fix you. Anyway, let's get into chapter 77 and 78, since ain't nobody got nothing they want to ask me. But I thought I'd let you see a little bit of this debate as a refresher. To show you that what I said about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he knew that he could not stand up there and let Joe Biden actually start enumerating all of his inconsistencies and everything that, all of the good that the Obama and Biden administration did for this country. He wasn't going to let Joe Biden stand up there and put that contrast out there. So he did the next thing. He made the debate degenerate into something that he's good at, which is lying and double talking, and tried to get into name calling. And finally, Joe Biden he just looked at him and ignored him and started talking to the people, which was intelligent. And when the moderator tried to get him to be quiet, and while Joe Biden was talking, Joe Biden, at one point, Joe Biden said, "Shut up, man." So I was glad he didn't go back into the bag on him, because you could tell that it was getting on his nerves, but he kept his cool, and that's what he's supposed to do. I mean, you in front of the whole world looking at you, you ain't got to be going over there busting him in the mouth. So just tell me, shut up, man. And I remember when he called him a clown. And I thought about that picture they had of him with a clown nose on on the internet. I mean, Donald, you brought that on yourself, man. You know, you bring that kind of thing to yourself. The way you get out and you ignore proper behavior. You have made improper behavior fair seeming to a bunch of ignorant people. It is never proper for a mature man to conduct himself on the level of a teenager. It is beneath the dignity of his maturity. It's just certain actions that you don't expect from a mature man. And any of you that don't know that is because you have no maturity yourself. You know, when I was a teenager, you wouldn't, I mean, you know, my own mama wouldn't have known me if she'd have caught me sometime when I was out there with the brothers. And what's the name? I spoke the same language that all of them were speaking. You know, and you know, I was, you know, even in the Marine Corps, we was youngsters, 18, 19, 20 years old, man. We cussing, talking about cussing like sailors. Sailor ain't got nothing on no Marine. We cussing and fighting and talking about what we do to somebody. That was, we were youngsters. What I look like out here now, talking like that? Nope. That's the one thing I never did see when I was growing up in the black community. We used to be out there throwing hands with each other and coming up with a swole hand and all that old kind of stuff. I tell you, that your hand wasn't made for that. But anyway, I never saw two elderly men out there fist fighting. Because they knew how to talk their problems out. They talked their disagreements out. They didn't get out there throwing hands with each other. Oh. But anyway.
President and Republicans to jam through in an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight: why are you right in the argument you make and your opponent wrong? And where do you think a Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump, in this first segment, you go first. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic.
Now, as he was saying that, that we won the election and we have the House and we have the Senate, or at least we have the Senate and whatnot. Okay, you won the election. Well, Obama and them won the last election. Now you see how what he was saying condemned what they did to President Obama when he had won the election and it was time to appoint a justice to the Supreme Court? His own argument condemns him. By thy own words thou shalt be justified, and by thy own words thou shalt be condemned. Lindsey Graham said, hold me to it, didn't he? They don't mind. I told you, everybody that supports Donald Trump, none but liars. I have yet to meet a person who supports Donald Trump that's not a liar. They sit up and they play their little games and whatnot, but you're a bunch of liars. That's the only reason that's the only way you could support him as much as he lies. The only thing I heard him really tell the truth about, and he didn't tell it, he just read it. He read the snake. And then he said, does this make sense? You knew he was a liar when you put him in there. You knew he was a con man when you put him in there. You knew that. It's just like people who sit up here and they support him even though they see 206,000 American people have died from a virus that has went pretty much unchecked in the United States. Yes. What is it?
Man, sir, when you were talking about how they were speaking, it completely blocked you out completely. So we're still getting interference. I mean, they're clearly blocking out things.
Well, just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. What part didn't you get?
When you were saying how one of the persons that were asking a question, I think it was when you were saying about Mr. Trump, that it was completely blanked out, and you could tell that you were talking, and you completely blanked out. You know, you were saying.
Okay. Well, they it's no problem. I already said a prayer on these people who purposely block us. Allah has already, like I said, and the Holy Quran says the chastisement shall come upon them from whence they perceive not. And I'm going to just leave it right there. Because Allah is upholding everything that I say. So they want to play the little game. Well, I can play too. So, I don't have to see you. I don't have to be on the air to cast people in hell. I can do it when I'm sitting all by myself and think about who did what and just cast them in hell. They'll never know it. They'll just see stuff happening to them and they won't have the slightest clue that I'm throwing them in hell. So let them keep on. Ain't no problem. So, like I told you, I ain't playing no games with these people. You want to play your little game, go and play your little game. You're going to find out I'm not playing. Remind me of that movie about Wyatt Earp, it's Tombstone. Old Ringo in the end, when Doc told him, he said, I'm your Huckleberry. And he said, well, I was just fooling about. And he said, play for blood, remember? And he said, I was just fooling about. Doc said, I wasn't. Huh? You like to pick on people who you could whoop, but you didn't. When he had somebody that could maybe hold their own, now he just fooling about. He just playing. Huh? I ain't seen a bully yet that wasn't like that. So Donald Trump standing up there next to somebody that he actually can't bully. So all he can do is stand up there and use his noise making ability. Because even when he was answering, you notice Joe Biden let him answer. And he didn't cut in. and whatnot, even though everybody knows that what Trump was saying was condemning what they had did to President Obama. Huh? Okay. Well, let's.
Good in every way, good in every way. In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people in other places. So I think she's going to be fantastic. We have plenty of time. If we did it after the election itself, I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be as good as anybody that has served on that court. We really feel that we have a professor.
Even that, you notice, he said that he had plenty of time even after the election. Well, why are you rushing? Why you don't wait until after the election? And if you win, you can go on and appoint another justice. What's the big hurry? You hear them telling you all of the time they want a more conservative court. Well, I thought it would seem to me you would want a just court. You would want a Supreme Court that will uphold the Constitution. But it ain't never been about justice. If it was about justice, there wouldn't be no Black Lives Matter movement. There wouldn't be no racism and bigotry all over the country. They're doing just what I told you that he was going to do when they got in there. I told you that they was going to get you to implode. Because ain't no country outside of America could have overthrown America. America wasn't in no danger of being attacked by no country. People all over the earth. You got somebody in America, you got groups of people from all over the earth have come to America to live. Huh? Immigrants, just a nation of immigrants, and the whole world has taken advantage of the immigration system of America to try to get to this place where you can live your dreams. Huh? America was the envy of the world. And no other country that I know of. Now, if you know of another one, you tell me. What other country do you know of that people risk their lives, trying to get to it? Name another one. So this is the problem. People outside of this country recognized the freedoms, the opportunities, and the things that was offered in this country to its citizens. And the people that live here, laying down, sleeping all day, or doing something, ain't recognized what they got here. And you know what happens when you have something that you don't recognize its value. You should have felt insulted when Donald Trump was running around here talking about make America great again. What do you mean, make America great again? You remind me of people who don't know, I guess we all guilty of it as we were younger, working on something, and then didn't have sense enough to know when it couldn't be improved upon. Do you understand? Or even if it's improved upon, you got to step back and take a look to see if it was really an improvement. Huh? mean, these people, I mean, they had just came out of a terrible recession that the Republican Party had dropped them into. Then the Democratic Party came and pulled them up out of that recession and put things back in order. And then they put the Republicans back in power again to finish what they had started. Huh? I mean, you know, it's just like a whale determined to beat yourself. That's all I can think. You just determined to tear your own country up. You know, if, like I said, I'm going to cast my vote for Joe Biden, and because, you know, I still have hope to be able to help you. Allah wouldn't have chose me if I was easy to give up. So I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden, and if he win, then I'm gonna help. If he don't win, you ain't got to worry about me standing up here talking to you no more about no politics or whatever. I'm gonna worry about my own people that were slaves, and I'm gonna do what I got to do for them, and leave you and your bigotry and racism to you, and just leave you alone. Like the book said, as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. So, you know, sometimes you just have to leave people. Yeah, leave them alone. Let them go and do it. You know, you remember I asked you at the Monday. I asked you, how many of you conservatives, you call yourself conservative? Actually, you're a bunch of racists. You who believe in racism and all of that kind of thing. How many skills do you all have? Come in here and tell me some of your skills. If the country was turned over to you, if everybody that you say is liberal and no good and all that kind of stuff, if all the liberal people was to just up and leave this country to you, what could you produce? Most of the stuff that you have came from people who are liberal. A liberal mind is a creative mind because it's a broad mind. Narrow-minded people cannot actually create things. You know why? Because their thinking is so narrow that all they can try to do is hold on to what they got. They can't see past what they got. It's like, like some of the older people used to tell us, say, look, boy, a balled up fist, can't nothing get out, but can't nothing get in either. That's the same way people with a balled up mind, a closed mind, a closed fist. No, can't nothing get out, but can't nothing get in either. And that's why you just stay stuck in your little cesspool. You know what happens to stagnant water? Stagnant water soon develops, mosquitoes and stuff land in it and putrefy it. And if you drink from it, you get sick. Just like anybody who drank from Donald Trump, they get sick. That's the truth. The mind get all messed up. That's you know, he poisons your mind. You don't care about your country. All you care about is your self. You think that everybody's chasing you. And the reason you think that is because you chasing everybody. You against everybody. And in order to justify you being against everybody, you got to tell yourself that everybody's against you. Yet when I asked you, how many of y'all think that I hate white folks or think that I'm somehow want to do some harm to any of y'all? What give you that impression? I done lived here since 81. You never had nobody say that something I did was harming them. You just can't nobody live with you in peace. So, because of that, I'm here to get rid of you. And now when I say get rid of you, I'm talking about the mind that's in you. If I can't get rid of the mind that's in you, it's just going to evaporate. And you'll be like that boy, Pascal. Man, they're pulling a gun on his wife, threatening to shoot himself. I mean, that boy crazy. That's one of them Trump supporters. How you gonna support somebody that's losing their mind and you ain't losing yours? Nah, you ain't no you ain't no threat to me. You a threat to yourself. Yeah, you'll find out. You shouldn't have never told me we got plans for you. Oh yeah? Yep. Mm-hmm. How that working out for you, boy? I had plans for you. All the plans I had for you was good. And for me planning something good for you, you figure I deserve evil. Huh? Yeah, okay. Right on. Let's see here. Those sent forth. Remember Allah said, Son of man, I do send thee unto them. Huh? Okay. What did the messenger say when his last sermon? He said, we want you who probably come from overseas. We want you to know that you're at the setting of the sun. What does the sun do when it's set? What is it on its way to doing? It's about to get dark, ain't it? Huh? Yeah. And at the same time, what did Allah tell the Son of Man to do? Son of man, do what? Sit on my right hand. What? Until I make your enemies all over the earth. Since the earth is God's footstool, he says, till I make your enemies your footstool. Then, by the time the enemies get all over the earth, attacking the true religion, then Allah, by that time he knew, he said, now, son of man, take the book and eat it up. Now go, get thee to them and speak with my words and overcome all of them false religions out there. Huh? Well, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, it says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, by those sent forth to spread goodness. Who was sent forth to spread goodness? Wasn't the prophets sent to spread goodness? Huh? Well, let's see here. It says, when Jesus was asked, good master, what must I do to inherit eternal life? Jesus asked him, wherefore callest thou me good? There's none good but who? None good but one, and that is God. Huh? So if those who were sent forth to spread goodness was those who were sent forth to spread the word of God. Is that right? All right. Now let's go. You know, you ever sit down and toasted you some bread, and after it got toasted, then you had some butter and maybe some jam. What did you do with the butter and jam? You spreaded it on the bread, didn't you? Well, the messengers of God were sent forth to spread truth on the brain of human beings. Do you understand? Okay. And it says, by those sent forth to spread goodness, then those driving off the chaff. Those driving off the chaff. You notice there, how many times it's not a believer that ever stood up that said, I'm going to follow you, son of man. That the first thing didn't happen to them that when they told their family that they was going to accept me and follow me, the wind from them, their relatives and stuff start attacking them, telling them, what is this you getting into? You should you better be careful. You better And those who was weak, it drove them away from me. Do you understand? Those driving off the chaff. That's what the mind that's in these people. You notice, you go to, if you tell somebody in this world, you say, hey man, I think I'm gonna go down to the church and I'm gonna try Jesus, man. And don't nobody say nothing. He said, well, good luck, man. And you know, I'm good. I'm happy for you, right? You know why? Because the religion that you go into is from the world. And the world naturally respects its own. You see, so you get people all the time say, well, that's all right, man. You're entitled to your religion. You know, whatever you want to do, that's your business. Until you decide to accept Islam. Then it ain't your business no more. It's everybody's business, right? Yeah. That's because Islam is true religion. It's not something that you just put on and do on Sunday, like the people in this world do. They get so holy on Sunday, and then they go out in the week doing all the stuff that they always did, and then they say, "Well, Jesus took care of me. Jesus died for me." Is that right? If you ask, hey man, how that work? And say, what do you mean how it work? I'm trying to figure out how a man that was murdered 2,000 years ago somehow paid for your wrongdoing today. Well, you just got to believe it. And if you don't believe it, we can't talk. We can't talk. I know you can't talk because you don't really believe that. That's just something that you say to justify doing what you've been wanting to do. You know? But anyway, it says, so by those sent forth to spread goodness, then those driving off the chaff. And then it says, and those spreading goodness far and wide. What did Jesus say? This gospel of the kingdom has to be preached where? To all nations, far and wide, huh? The Holy Quran says, Muhammad said, it is a reminder to what? To the nations, to spread goodness far and wide, right? And it says, then those making a distinction. Well, we know about Moses, but they didn't know nothing about Moses. They wasn't practicing what Moses taught them. We know Moses was from God, but Jesus, who is this fellow? We don't know nothing about him. Huh? Making a distinction. We make no distinction between any of the messengers of God. If you believe in one, you believe in all. Because ain't but one God, and one God sent all of them, one after another. So it says, after those spreading goodness far and wide, then those making a distinction. It's just like you hear these talking about they follow. I follow on Bilal Muhammad. Well, what about Jesus and Moses and David and Solomon? Do you follow them too? You never hear them quote none of them, do you? I didn't hear you. It's just like those who claim to believe in Muhammad, but they don't know nothing about Jesus. Muhammad said what Allah gave him was a reminder of what came before it. The gospel and the Torah came before the Holy Quran. Whenever a messenger of God is mentioned, whenever any of their doctrine is mentioned, you're supposed to shut your mouth and listen and obey. We sent no messenger, but that he should be obeyed. We believe in all of the prophets and in all of their scriptures. We, that is, who are Muslim. And it says, you notice, it says those spreading goodness far and wide, then those making a distinction. Every time, I'll tell you what. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 hours ago, it wasn't dark out there. Huh? But we knew that after the light, we could expect what? Darkness. And after the darkness, light again, huh? And after the light, darkness again. Then after the darkness, what? And that's going to keep on happening, huh? Okay. Those spreading goodness far and wide, which was the prophets. Then those making a distinction, those who was mocking the prophets, pretending to be representatives of them, talking about this one was greater and all that, and they up there call themselves preaching, and they carrying on this prophet's work. Huh? Making a distinction. But, that's what comes after the light, darkness. Huh? Then it says, then those offering the reminder. If the Holy Quran says it is a reminder of what came before it, then what did Jesus say when he picked up Isaiah's book? They delivered to him the book of the prophet Isaiah, and he found the place where it is written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he hath anointed me to preach deliverance to the captives and that recovering of sight to the blind, and to heal the sick, and to set at liberty those that are captive. And that he went on, and then he closed the book up. He said, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your hearing. Huh? What was he doing? Reminding them of Isaiah, huh? I didn't hear you? Okay. So those offering the reminder. Jesus believed in Isaiah. Why didn't you? Jesus believed in Moses. Why don't you? Jesus said, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. This for all you liars who keep on talking about we ain't living in the Old Testament no more. Oh, so we going to throw away the thou shalt have none other gods before me. We going to Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. That's all in the Old Testament. So we supposed to throw that away? Huh? So after those who make a distinction, as Jesus called them, woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites. You notice the religious people in Jesus' day and time was the crookedest things that you ever wanted to meet, just like now. Huh? They was trying to figure out how to get rid of Jesus. So Jesus offered them a reminder. He said, it is written, my Father's house shall be called a mosque, a house of prayer. That's what a mosque is. A mosque is a house of prayer. The temple is the place where you get taught. The mosque is the place you go and pray. You understand? Said, it is written, my Father's house shall be called a house of prayer, and you have turned it into a den of thieves. Huh? Okay. I suppose if you had been up there on the mountain with Moses, and God told Moses, he said, take off your shoes, for you are standing on holy ground. And you said, wait a minute, Moses, I got a prayer rug I'm gonna give you. He said, give me two pieces of gold, and I give you this prayer rug. You done turned your religion into a business. Anyway, it says, then those offering the reminder to clear or to warn. Why to clear or to warn? Son of man, over in the book of Ezekiel, it says, son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. This is the 3rd chapter of Ezekiel and the 17th. I'm reading the 18th verse now. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. What did I do Monday also? I've been doing it but I definitely shared with you the scripture that says that we must all stand before the judgment seat of Christ, and everyone may have done in their body according to that which they have done, whether it was good or bad. Huh? And I warned you. I said, you walking around here, not masking up in a pandemic, which is, the scripture refers to pandemics as pestilences. A pestilence is a pandemic. It's where viruses get inside of your body like rats and roaches and varmints get inside your house. And you need to exterminate them, or they'll make your house unlivable. Is that right? Okay. A pestilence gets inside of your body. Allah gave us people who are knowledgeable to tell us, hey, you can't see them, but there's viruses that we have discovered that's out here. We have masks that are M95 masks, they call them. See, the people need to have those on, and they need to wear them until we can study this virus and how it works and know all of its ins and outs. And then we can, if it pleases Allah, we can develop a vaccine to give our immune system a jump start to defend our bodies against these unwanted hosts. But in the meantime, put a mask on, and that will protect you and protect others from the droplets of moisture that come out of your mouth, and protect you from the moisture or the drops that may come from them. But you got people who refuse to hear that warning. So Allah said, Son of man, give them warning from me. And he said, thou shalt, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. It's just like Donald Trump. He knew that this virus was dangerous and deadly, and he did not give the American people warning. Huh? Okay, so all of the blood, all of the people who have died is laid at his feet. There shall be blood up to the horse's bridle. The bridle is what you use to guide a horse. Where is America guided from? 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And there shall be blood up to the horse's bridle by the space of 1600 furlongs. So, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. You done cleared yourself of blame. Huh? What did it say? Then those offering the reminder to clear themselves of blame, or to warn those who will heed the warning to try to save their lives. Huh? Then it says, surely that which you are promised will come to pass. What is promised? What do you call a promise from God? You call it prophecy, don't you? Okay. This is the 24th chapter of Matthew. Now the Holy Quran says, surely that which you are promised will come to pass. Okay. And this is the 3rd verse. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of the coming of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Jesus Christ, and shall deceive many. Huh? Every time you look up here, somebody, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. In the name of Jesus. Yeah, Jesus said many was going to come in his name, saying he was Christ. They even call him Jesus Christ. Huh? Is that right? Then it says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things shall come to pass, but the end is not yet. And nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences. Surely that which you are promised will come to pass. Huh? There's a promise there. Gonna be pestilences and famines. And the earthquakes in diverse places. Well, let's go on over here. Surely that which you are promised will come to pass. So, when the stars are made to disappear, you see any more prophets? Huh? Is it any promise of the coming of any more prophets? The book says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the day. You don't see stars unless it's nighttime. Huh? No. When the stars are made to disappear, you know that it's about to get daylight, huh? Is that right? And when the seventh angel shall sound, the mystery of God, that as the prophet said, we speak now the word of God in a mystery. Huh? But now the mystery is being done away with because the seventh angel is sounding. I'm the messenger of the covenant. I'm the messenger of the kingdom of heaven, of the Sabbath day. And so I'm making everything crystal clear. And so it says, so when the stars are made to disappear, and when the heaven is opened up, rent asunder. Yeah, when you rent something, you tear it open. You open it up. Huh? Says, you notice, you ate some potato chips before, haven't you? When you get ready to open that bag, don't you grab both parts and pull it apart to try to not tear the bag up? Ain't that right? You rent it open, huh? So it says, and when the heaven is rent asunder, and when the mountains are carried away as dust. Well, you know what happened when the book says, what is another word for dust? Women used to put it on their face. Powder, huh? Says, whosoever that stone shall fall on shall be ground to what? Well, what am I doing now as my attention falls on the Holy Scriptures? And the mountain of God is being carried away as what? As dust. Then it says, so you know what it's doing to the mountains of knowledge that the white man been around here telling you about, his knowledge. You'll notice when I teach on something that he called himself done taught on, I always make it clearer, don't I? For instance, he run around here talking about that objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And I corrected him on that. You know, objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside or inside force. Huh? There you go. So, and generally that's in a vacuum. And he should have said that, in a vacuum. For that's something that you observe in space. You throw something and it'll stay in motion unless caught in a gravity well of something or some force inside of it stops it. Huh? Okay. Now, let's go further. It says, and when the messengers are made to reach their appointed time. What time were they made to reach? Now, this is the time. You turn to 1 Thessalonians, and it teaches you that what time they were prophesied to reach. See, they've reached that time now. in 1 Thessalonians, if I can find it here. You know, these little books, they always, sometime I pass them up. So I be moving so fast. You got to be careful. You be done past your spot. Give me a minute. There it is. In 1 Thessalonians, it says in the 4th chapter, and we're going to go to the 16th verse. Now remember Paul had already said over in, Corinthians, that for me to be absent from the body is to be present with who? Present with the Lord, huh? Let me find that. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And Brother told me it's the 8th verse. So let's go to it. And he said, we are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. That's just another way of saying to die now in this body. But this mind will live on and be addressing you again when the Lord comes. Huh? Right? Okay. So now you know what the Holy Quran is talking about. It says, and when the messengers are made to reach their appointed time. What appointed time to do what? To be with the Lord. Huh? Okay, well, it's time now. So in the Thessalonians, it says, for the Lord himself, this is the 4th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, not a whisper, but with a shout. And the voice with the words of the archangel. What is the Holy Bible and Quran? They are the Ark of the Covenant. Do you understand? Noah's Ark was what all of his farm animals and stuff was in, right? Well, the books is the Ark of the Covenant, is what all of God's words that he gave his prophecies, his prophets, promises. He gave them words, and the Holy Scripture is the Ark of the Covenant. And so, and each messenger's words that's in the Holy Scriptures is the archangel. Do you understand? The ark messenger. So it says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the words of the messengers of the covenant, and with the trump of God, with the understanding of God. And the dead in Christ, those who are absent from the body that was in Christ, the messengers of God were the anointed ones. And so they are now absent from those bodies, but their words is in the covenant. And now I was told to consume the covenant so that their words would be in me. And so now they are present with the Lord. Their time has come to be present with me. And so it says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel, with the words of the messengers of the covenant, and with the trump, with the truth of God, with the understanding of the word of God. And the dead in Christ, those who are absent from their bodies, shall rise first. So they have reached their appointed time to rise, as the book says. Hereafter shall you see heaven rent, heaven open, and the angels of God ascending like water vapor. You can't see the water vapor with your naked eye unless it gets really thick sometime and forms fog. And that's water vapor that's being ascended. And that's what you're looking at when you look at them hydrogen and oxygen clouds up there in the sky. That's the purification. And so you see the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran are sending the words that's in those books are sending to my brain. And then when I mix them together, they come back down rain for you. Do you understand? Pure rain. All praise is due to Allah. Ain't it wonderful to know the truth? Then it says, and when the messengers are made to reach their appointed time, to what day is the doom fixed? Oh, what doom? The doom of the mind that's in you. I told you was going to be losing your mind. I did tell you. Didn't I? I warned you that the mind that's in you is on grace. Only until after I have spoken to you and shut your mouth. As long as people think they have an argument against me, then I haven't really reached them. But when I shut your mouth, then like in any court, the judge will ask, does the prosecution have anything else to present? He said, no, y'all. Does the defense have anything else to present? No, y'all. The defense rests. The state rests, y'all. Huh? Is that what he said? You notice, the defense of you has rested, but the state hasn't. The messengers of God just getting started. Why? Because now that I have your attention, now I can speak the truth unfettered and uninterrupted by you so that you have a decision to make. And to what day is the doom fixed? What is that? To what day is the doom fixed? To the day of decision. Well, you can't make no decision if you ain't heard all the evidence. I didn't hear you. Huh? Well, Son of Man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel and speak with my words unto them. So, it's written in the 15th chapter of John and the 22nd verse, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had the knowledge that they were sinners. Because you can't be held accountable just like a child. You can't accuse a child of disobeying you when they didn't understand what you was telling them not to do. Huh? Now you gonna whoop them for that? No. It's just like a baby. Mama changed that diaper, that baby boo-boo on. If the baby boo-booed on itself 5 times in a row, she'll change him 5 times in a row and kiss him and never think a word of. The baby be laying there giggling and grinning after it's done boo-booed on itself. Sometimes you could be changing the baby if it's a boy and be changing the baby and he urinate in your face. And that you laugh about that. Huh? Because you know that baby can't help that. Right? That's the way God winked at ignorance, at spiritual ignorance. That's why people looked at the world of the atrocities that was going on with you, and there's your proof that you ain't got no innate righteousness. Look at all of the people who was willing to go along with the slavery of us and the mistreatment of us and the inhumane treatment of us, and made it okay because they was making money off of us being treated like that. Look at the people who at the turn of the century that were willing to in the name of following orders march people who look like them. When I looked at Benjamin Netanyahu in there with the rest of them white people in there, I didn't see no difference. Yet Hitler and them saw a difference. The Jewish people, Jew ain't no race. That's a religion. Judaism is a religion. March them people into ovens, pretending it was showers. And burn them up and when they ate lunch after they finished murdering all them people. So don't tell me nothing about you. You know something about righteousness. No, sir. You don't know nothing about no righteousness. Righteousness ain't something that you just born with. Allah created righteousness. Righteousness has one source, and the Holy Scriptures is the instruction in righteousness. There are no other instructions for righteousness. And those instructions were sealed so that you could practice unrighteousness and see that there's nothing good can come from unrighteousness. So now that you have failed to be able to live in peace, are you ready to listen? Well, I have the power to forgive you all of the wrong you done did, and I have already forgiven that. But I'm not going to forgive you for coming in here blaspheming against the holy word that I'm speaking to you. And how you act after I speak to you, I'm not going to forgive your purposeful rejection of what you know to be right. And you can sit up out there and pretend you don't understand all you want. I don't teach misunderstanding. I teach things so clear that a child understands. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had the knowledge of sin. But now they have no cloak for their sins. You got no excuse now. You running around here talking about you, the Proud Boys, walking around here with your guns and all this stuff, with your made-up superiority. If you thought you were superior, what you need a gun for? Use that superior mind of yours. There's no such thing as a superior mind that believes in murder. If you don't believe it, you get sick. How many doctors do you really know of that are convicted murderers? How many scientists do you know of who, like Dr. Fauci and all of those virologists and those people who know something about viruses and the microbes and whatnot? How many of them do you know of that are convicted murderers? A superior mind is not a mind that tries to figure out how to snuff out life. A superior mind is a mind that tries to figure out how to prolong life. Boy, that was mighty quick. 3 hours, wasn't it? It says, to what day is the doom fixed? It is to the day of decision. And what will make thee comprehend what the day of decision is? Woe on that day to the rejectors of the Son of Man. That's the decision that you did. You made a decision to reject me. And I'm your only salvation. And by rejecting me, you have rejected salvation. So, did we not destroy the former generations as it was in the days of Noah and of Lot? Did we not destroy them? Then we followed them up with later ones. Thus do we deal with the guilty. Woe on that day to the rejectors. The Son of Man must suffer many things. First must he suffer many things and be rejected of this wicked and adulterous generation. But woe on that day to the rejectors. I think if we can, let's take this other hour here. I want to finish this chapter at least. It says, did we not create you from ordinary water? All of you who are not black like me. The only man that wasn't created from sperm is the black man. Everybody else was created from water, ordinary water, which grew and acted as a catalyst and a means of transferring life and minerals and things out of the food and stuff that you ate, and made that life germ rest in the scrotum of a father. And then from that water, we produce life germs and we procreated. Proceeded to create and reproduce ourselves in you. Do you understand? Did we not create you from ordinary water? Then we placed it in a secure resting place. Not only was it in a secure resting place in our scrotum, but even when we produce another life, it's in another secure resting place in the womb of the woman inside of ordinary water. Huh? Then it says, and we place it in the secure resting place till an appointed time. It's just like a man don't just come here able to, a baby don't come here ready to reproduce. The female, the woman child comes here with her eggs. But the man, and even she does not begin to ovulate until a certain time. And a man child, he has to reach a point that they call puberty, where he can produce a life germ that can reproduce. Huh? Okay. Till an appointed time, huh? Then it says, so we determined all of these things. We made that judgment about all of these things. How well are we at determining? Woe on that day to the rejectors. You notice, everything that I read and explain to you, you wouldn't have known what it was talking about if I hadn't explained it. Huh? Then it says, have we not made the earth draw to itself? I mean, the earth's spinning at 1,037 1/3 miles per hour, yet we ain't flying over here. We don't even feel it spinning, do we? It's drawing to itself. Huh? Yes. Have we not made the earth draw to itself, the living and the dead? Yes. And let me show you, that's not just true for the physical earth. It's also true for knowledge. Have not the earthly man, have not the earthly knowledge? Look at this industrial giant that you call the United States of America, and the white man in particular. Look how our America draws to itself people from all over the earth. It's because he's the earthly ruler. Huh? Yeah. Both the living and the dead. The prophets, the people who are religious, you can't go no place and find look what happened up there at the Sikh temple. Other countries, people are intolerant of other people's religions. In America, they say, look, man, argue it out. I mean, argue with him. If the man want to worship that, show him that it's wrong. Don't go over there and kill him. If what you have is right and what someone else has is wrong, you don't have to kill them. If they are sane, you can reason with them. And if they are insane, then they have an excuse. And if you can't help them, just leave them alone, because they're going to wind up killing themselves anyway. You understand? But thou shalt not kill. That's why people who claim, you notice, I know that America is the great Satan, but all over the earth is Satan. This one just the greatest. But now, when you look at what happens in America, you got people from countries that claim to be Muslims, that claim to have the true religion. And people are fleeing those countries to come to a place where religion is practiced, for the most part, freely, as the books dictate. Even though the Holy Quran says there is no compulsion in religion. If you act on that, people shouldn't have to run from your country because they don't believe in practicing your religious doctrine. If they got some religion they want to practice, you should leave them alone. But instead, you try to force people. And then you claim that you have God's religion. You don't have Allah's religion. Allah's religion gives people freedom. Freedom to choose to submit or choose not to. It's just like what's happening to you. I ain't doing nothing to you. You're doing it to yourself. Allah said He's going to leave you alone, blindly wandering on in your inordinacy. And your inordinacy is what's destroying you. Here a man keeps letting the words law and order fly out of his mouth while he breaking all the laws that of the very Constitution that he swore to uphold. Huh? Man ain't thinking about no law and order. that's a what they call it, a dog whistle, but it ain't no dog whistle no more. A dog whistle is supposed to be that some people can hear it, animals can hear it. The one that is meant for can hear it, but your and my ears, we can't hear a dog whistle. Do you understand? Humans can't, but dogs can. Well, on the outside or what? Everybody that's lived their life outside of the word of God, when you speak to them about killing somebody or speak to them about committing acts of violence or whatnot, in a what you call symbolic way, stand down but stand by. Huh? What did Miss Harris say? He said, that ain't no dog whistle, that's a bullhorn. But anyway, I mean, what you think? You think you gonna just come around here killing people and we gonna just stand there and tremble? And like I said, you can't come after my behind and leave yours at home. Pharaoh thought he was finna go kill Moses. Moses didn't have to get no guns and no spears or nothing. Allah said what? You see what happened to your boy there in Florida? That's what's headed for all of you. Now I'll sit right here and watch it happen to you. And then I will stand up and tell the people, didn't I tell you? Okay. Keep on clowning with me. You were told to submit to me. You weren't told to be clowning and going on against me. So, it says, have we not made the earth draw to itself the living and the dead, and made therein lofty mountains, and given you to drink of sweet water? Yeah. Woe on that day to the rejectors. Look at you. We've given the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual mountain and the natural mountain. Both of them are now available. Technology and spirituality. The true Spirit of God is now being offered to you so we can complete your growth and development. And what do? You come in here and you act a fool. Instead of giving thanks for me, instead of giving thanks for what Allah have given to you through me, you come in here with your insults. Well, I warned you, I'm not going to take it. And it says, woe on that day to the rejectors. Walk on to that which you called a lie. You call the day of judgment a lie. You call the chastisement, or even this pestilence. You call the Dr. Fauci and them a lie. That they know this ain't nothing but a farce. This is a hoax. 206,000 Americans dead. 207,000 Americans dead now, and you called it a hoax. Listening to your fellow liar, the liar in chief. Okay. Walk on to that which you called a lie. Walk on to the shadow having 3 branches. This world is a shadow of things to come with its 3 branches. Judiciary, the legislative and executive branches. The shadow having 3 branches. Oh, yeah. Huh? It says, neither cool nor availing against the flame. Look at this pandemic that's going on now. He ain't got system. Your government now. The people who's supposed to set your mind at ease and at peace and help you keep cool about it and deal with the fire of this pandemic. Neither cool nor availing against the flames of this pandemic. Says it sends up sparks like palaces. Hey, he's up there telling all them lies. Well, if it hadn't been for what we did, it'd have been 2 million dead. Did you hear that lie? I closed off China. Now the whole world closing off America. So I guess with his thinking, I guess now it's the American virus, huh? Bah. It sends up sparks like palaces, as if they were tawny camels. Woe on that day to the rejectors. This is the day on which they speak not. You hear him saying anything? They will not be able to address him. Huh? Come in here and speak to me and tell me that I'm saying something wrong. And be ready to prove it. This is the day on which they speak not, but the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth speak not. Huh? Now, if I ain't the Lord, why ain't nobody speaking? Nor are they allowed to offer excuses. Woe on that day to the rejectors. This is the day of decision. We have gathered you and those of yore. Yes, and gathered you and the prophets that you claim you believe in. And he gathered them all together in a place in the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon. Arm is the word. Megiddo, the word of God and the place of God. The word is the arm, and Megiddo is the place where it is found, which is the Holy Scriptures. And this is the place. As he said, he gathered them together. He gathered them all together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue what? Armageddon. Didn't say he gathered them to a war called Armageddon. He gathered them to the place called Armageddon. And they call it the Battle of Gettysburg. But Gettysburg wasn't the battle. It was the place where the battle was fought. Huh? Armageddon is not the war. It is the place where the war is fought. What kind of war, son of man? Holy war. Because the Armageddon is the Holy Scriptures. Do you hear anybody able to come in here and make war with me in the Holy Scriptures? Huh? In righteousness he doth judge and make war. I've condemned all your religions. The only religion that's true is the one I'm teaching. The rest of you ain't got nothing but a lie. Then it says, so if you have a plan against me now. You see what that said? No, it said, we got plans for you. Plan against me now, boy. It never even dawned on you why the black man never put his trust in all these weapons and stuff that you put your trust in. We taught you how to turn iron into weapons and stuff. As the book says, I made the smith. I created the smith. I taught him, the blacksmith, how to turn iron into steel and make weapons and stuff to help him to go and subdue the earth. That's what we did that for you. But we also prophesied that you would turn your spears, beat them into plowshares. Ain't gonna be no more of that murdering each other and all that. We don't do away with that. Man, we so smart that we could spin the earth backwards and make the sun physically rise from the west, and you'd never even feel when the earth was spent the other way. We don't even have to stop it from turning. All we have to do is flip it. Just reverse the poles. Put the South Pole where the North Pole is, and the North Pole where the South Pole is, and the sun would start rising from the west. We could do that. You don't really understand. What you think? We've been on this planet for trillions of years, and we don't know nothing about how to protect ourselves. They ain't learned nothing about the forces on this planet and what makes it tick. We gave you a little hint. The book says, when the earth is stretched and cast forth what's in it and becomes empty and listens to its Lord and is made fit. Let me show you a little something here. Go back, Lieutenant or Commander Bluford, before he passed. When he was looking back at the earth, this is a black man, an astronaut. And he said the one thing that amazed him was that he used to think lightning was a random occurrence until he looked at the earth from out in space and he saw that lightning is constantly going on all around the earth. Yes. Well, that showed me something that what the Holy Quran was saying. when the earth casts forth what's in it, when the earth is stretched and casts forth what's in it and becomes empty and listens to its Lord. See, if you look at the brain of a human being, the brain of the human being has little lightning flashes going all through it all the time. As long as we are alive, that's happening in that gray and white matter up there. Now, what you think gonna happen when the earth and its Lord get in tune with each other? Where they gonna leave you who think you my enemy? I'm gonna fix you. You mark my words. I'm gonna fix you. Yeah. But anyway, I think I'll leave that alone now. You know, it's just like, I mean, that explains to me why when I stepped off the curb in front of that truck, that it just stopped. It didn't screech or nothing. It didn't skid no tires. It just stopped. You know? The earth stopped it. That's all. So all praise is due to Allah. Is, you know, there's, man, it's stuff happening. It's stuff happening around us that we just, I'll tell you something else that you notice, no matter what kind of explosion or whatever you blow up on the earth don't slow down and the earth don't speed up. It just stay turning. What's making it keep turning? I mean, you admit yourself that there's a gravitational field on the moon, that it has a little gravity, the sun has gravity. Why is everything keeping its distance? What's making it do that? Anyway, I took up enough time. I'm gonna. So it says, woe on that day to the rejectors. Now, well, ain't got but a little more to go. I'm going to go. Consequences of rejection. It says, of the whole matter. Fear God. And whosoever that stone fall on shall be crushed, shall be ground to powder. Huh? You should have kept your distance. If the earth fall on the sun, game over. Huh? You might see a little poof. Huh? So the earth is smart, keeps its distance. It keeps the right distance. Yes. That's respect. It says, and the sun respects the earth by staying put. The earth ain't got to run away from the sun. The sun stays in its, you know what the man says, stay in your lane, bro. Okay, well, the sun stays in its lane. I stays in my lane. I stay in the Holy Scriptures with you. When you start talking to me about this pandemic, I refer you to Dr. Fauci and to the scientific people. I tell you, listen to them, because I stay in my lane. Do you understand? Surely the dutiful are amid shades and fountains. Right? Well, the tree of life is a wonderful shade tree. You notice as you come into the Holy Scriptures with me, then you don't get burnt, you don't get sunburnt, you get nourished. You find rivers and fountains and a flowing river, as it says, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Huh? Yeah. All you have to do is stay in the scriptures with me. You know me coming in here clowning. And it says, and fruits such as they desire. Yes. You shall know them by their fruits. Works. I'm helping you get started with your work and whatnot. I need somebody right now that knows something about building bicycles. We want to build a new type of bicycle. And if you know something about bicycles, about how jigs and things are set up, you come on and we will help you get started. And we can, and preferably, like my own people, because I want you to become industrious. I want you to start building things. But if not you, I mean, all people are my people. So if it's some of our white brothers out there that want to come in and that's going to do this, you come on. We'll get you what you need, get you set up, and then you can put us to work. I don't mind working for you and working with you. We go on and build this bicycle. The bicycle industry is $1 billion industry. So there's room for us all. It's time for the next stage. I mean, so, and we got it. We got the next stage. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's a lot of things that I want to give you, share with you what Allah shared with me. See, a bigot can't do that. You know, you just got a narrow mind. But when your mind is expanding and you can grow and you can create things because you start seeing a bigger world instead of that little small cesspool that you exist in. Right? You submit. All you was told to submit when Allah created me and made me complete. He told everybody to submit. And because you submitted, then eat and drink pleasant for what you did. And it says, thus do we reward the doers of good. Thus do we reward those who want to obey God. Huh? Then it says, woe on that day to the rejectors. Eat and enjoy yourselves for a little while, for surely you are guilty. If you don't think that's true, look what happened to Pascal, Pascal, or whatever his name is, Brad. I just named him because you saw him up there insulting Joe Biden and talking about here Donald Trump hiding down there in the vault or whatever, what they call it, the what, the bunker. He ain't saying nothing about Donald Trump running into the bunker where the people was out there protesting. And but Joe Biden in his own home, you know, down there doing a what you call a campaign speech from his basement. And he talking about he hiding in the basement. The man wasn't hiding nowhere in the basement. The man was where he needed to be, and without interrupting his family and all of them. They probably wanted to see it on the TV anyway. But he didn't need them sitting around in there and no noise and stuff. So he was right to do it that way. Just like me. Am I hiding? Ain't nobody in here but me and the two technicians. Am I hiding? When them police officers found out he was in there with all them guns and stuff and pulling a gun on him, and then she say the boy threatened to kill his too. I mean, that was going to be a murder-suicide. That's what that was going to be. She called him on it. And when they got there, they told him, come out, leave your gun now, come out. And when he finally got out there, they said, on the ground. And when he didn't get out there quick enough, the officer grabbed him and threw him down. Huh? Because the man crazy. Oh, yeah. Anyway, woe on that day to the rejectors. Eat and enjoy yourselves for a little. Surely you are guilty. Guilty of what? You heard me and you ignored me. Woe on that day to the rejectors. And when it is said to them, bow down, they bow not down. When it is said to them, submit, they refuse. Woe on that day to the rejectors. In what narration after this? In what narration after it? Nothing but a lie. They believe every lie that come out of Donald Trump's mouth. Will die in your rage. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. I thank you for listening. I thank you for showing respect. I thank Allah for giving me the power to make you respect me. So let's, and I'm going to tell you something else. I say to my people, you get behind me and I promise you, you won't have to have no sign saying Black Lives Matter no more. You won't have to have none of that. Won't nobody bother you at all. But to get behind me, you also have to put down all of that wrong that you out there doing. As Allah said, when he was talking to Abraham, he said, now, remember, my covenant is not with the wrongdoers. No, it ain't what you know, is who you know. No. This is about be righteous or be gone. If you will not be righteous, Allah can't come in and step in to protect us if we don't strive for right. I can't just come out there interfering with the devil and his disciples. If you want to serve the devil, well, the devil got authority. But I'm going to tell you this. Both of you going to deny each other before it's over with. They ain't going to do you no good because both of you going to be destroyed. So I offered you forgiveness and I offered you a chance to start correcting yourself. And I offered to help you do so. So you turned me down? Okay, right on. Woe on this day to the rejectors. So now you've been through chapter 77. We go through chapter 78 Friday, if it pleases Allah. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's Salaam Alaikum.